Hello? Yep, y'all have volume. We have volume now. I can tell it does because the green bars are working. Awesome. Thank you. I love you. Okay. Okay. So, patience is a virtue, and Mama D and electronics. But you know what? We figured this out. Thank you. So here we are. For those of you who kept on helping and helping and helping, I so appreciate you. But we got volume to work. So let's get this show on the road, right? If at first you don't succeed, try and try and try again. Okay, that's decent. Mama D got a new camera. So excited. Feel like Kevin Hart. So excited. It's been a day. So we're going to light some sage and clear this energy, because I tell you what, if y'all only knew what I have done today. I had somebody call and ask for some help because they were battling some extreme energies today. Hey, Anna, so I have a new camera, and I know this is like the 50th, no, not really, probably the 4th or 5th, but I got a new camera and I could not figure out how to get the sound on. But thank you to Jessica. We figured it out together. So let's clear some of this frustration. And then I want to do a reading. And I know this is not what I do normally, is light sage off of a candle, but I'm going to bring some fire because I'm really excited about this. So here we go. And I have a little tripod, but like I said, I'm just going with the flow and figuring this out. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yes, it does. I could listen. And Jessica does so much for me. She has no idea. Like, really. I just love her so much. She's like my best friend from far away. And I really mean that. And the kids. I love the kids. They're my nieces and nephews that I have not got to meet in person yet, but we're going to make that happen this summer. I mean that. So how is... Look. So, yeah. I have some sage going just to clear some of that energy. That was intense, but you know what? We figured it out. I can't even remember how I did it, but I did it. Hey, come on. I'm getting up on my table. And I'm opening up the window. Let this sage out. So I'm so excited. I got a 4K camera, and I know it is so much better. Oh, yeah. We family. Definitely. So I'm letting that sage out the window. Good vibes. I'm really, really happy we got this mic to work. Thank you to everybody. Whenever we're finished, I'll go back and delete, the ones that didn't work. But I'm so thankful. Get a sip of my soda. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Alrighty, I just want to do a reading today. And actually, I'm feeling called to this Heal Yourself deck. Because I tell you what, it's been a healing day for Mama D. I have a beautiful lady, Miss Tia. She runs Little Sisters Emporium here where I live. And anytime anybody walks in her shop, she's like, you need Mama D. So she sends so many people my way. And it was just a nice day. Thank you, Stacy, for making this, camera possible. And I added some lighting to my ceiling fan up here. And I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm going to get a different mic, but, small steps at a time, like I said. But I'm going to go with this Heal Yourself deck. I just feel like it's very important because of the work that I did today, obviously off camera. I just feel like it's really important. I think maybe I needed this reading, and I needed the tribe just to help replenish my energy. I was out there battling some darkness today, and that's okay, right? Because that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to go with the Heal Yourself and just see what the divine has. I have prayed and prayed so much today, but I am going to ask that the divine protect my energy. Nothing formed in the spirit or in physical shall harm me. Absolutely. So I'm going to get this reading out, collective. I'm really glad all my technical devices are working because I am not technical, but we got it. And like I said, this is a new camera. I'm still working with it, so it is what it is, right? It is what it is. This one, the Heal Yourself, I need to send you this one. I will get it out to you at some point this week. This is the one I'm sending to you. This is the one I'm sending to you. So, look at that. Patience. Yes, divine, that's funny. Patience, huh? Patience, most definitely. Number 32. Patience. Patience is a virtue, right? But like I was saying, if at first you don't succeed, try and try and try again. Patience doesn't mean that you give up and you do nothing. On the contrary, you need to be aware of several aspects of the circumstances that you are facing. Patience requires you to stop pushing, rushing, and creating potentially explosive situations. Instead, see the bigger picture and become aware of the ingredients that you might be missing. Avoid jumping to conclusions and making up dramatic stories or situations without being aware of all the details. Patience can also be connected to health and recovery, a new diet and exercise program you have embarked on, or a new course of study that you may have begun. Remember, we're going to focus on one thing at a time and say to yourself aloud, I accept what is without judgment. I am willing to practice patience and presence. Breathe slowly and deeply while focusing what is. Be aware of the hot air hitting your nostrils and lungs. Soften and relax. Be the explorer of the present moment. Discover what is magical, beautiful, and serene in this moment. If you are feeling unwell or stressed, just allow yourself to explore these feelings with the awareness that this too shall pass. I feel that on so many levels. Yeah, I was getting a little aggravated with the camera, but you know what? Just took a step back, went in, redid some things, and kept on trying and trying and trying until guess what? Now we have it, right? Now it's working. I feel also like For myself personally, I wanted things to happen overnight. I was tired of the hurt. I was tired of the pain. I just wanted to move forward, and the divine is like, hey, just slow your roll, girl. Everything's going to turn out whenever it was meant to. Right? Remember, just because you set your intentions and what we think in this 3D that it should happen immediately, a 2 plus a 3 is a 5, which does represent change. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's a reprogramming of oneself. So if you're feeling like things aren't happening fast enough, just remember to stop, take a moment, and have patience. Right? Because just because we don't see the effects of things immediately, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. For instance, when someone is, okay, let's use my passion that I deal with now on a daily basis, recovery. We want recovery to happen immediately. We have put ourselves through years and years and years and years of, abuse, putting toxins into our body. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes you might have to lay your head down for a little bit and allow all of those toxins to release from your body. But just keep your mind and your focus, and this too shall pass, right? Just because I don't feel extremely better today does not mean that my body isn't purifying everything that I have done to myself, okay? Sometimes it takes 7 to 10 days for these things to come out of your system, just as well as your spiritual journey. Things don't happen overnight. It's a work in progress, right? Just have patience with yourself. Have patience with the divine. And just know, as long as you're trying and you're putting your best foot forward, things will come to pass. It may not be exactly when you think it should, but it will. And remember, faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Putting your faith out there that something's going to happen. So say you're looking for a new job, right? You've put in all these applications. You might think that you should get a call back immediately, but you have to remember that it may take a day or two for emails to go through, right? It may take a moment for a hiring company to come in and review your references, your credentials. Just because you don't see the effects immediately, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's just the divine is just asking you to have a little bit of patience, right? Just have a little bit of patience. She's sitting here by this well. Eventually, it'll overflow. But for right now, just be in the moment and know that you're building a very strong foundation for yourself, right? Eventually, the waters will flow. And when it does, it's a continuous stream. It's not just a trickle. It's continuous. Just remember that. Patience, eventually, it does pay off. Look, I can't help but see in her hand, she's holding something. She's waiting for it to grow. But yet, she's not up running around. She's sitting and waiting for a word. I feel like this also could be work, love, life. Other people could be tying up loose ends, right? Exactly. It's going to be okay. Just have a little bit of patience with the divine and know that everything happens for a reason. But it'll all come to pass in due time. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Victim consciousness. See all the darkness and thoughts? Don't believe that things happen to you. It actually happens for you, tribe. Things happen for you, for your betterment. Don't be a victim and play into things, okay? Put your feet firmly And I notice a black crow here, which talks about messages coming in. It might take a little while, but it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It takes a while for the clouds to remove themselves from your life, but it will. Just have a little bit of patience. Look, it's the exact light and darkness. It's the balance of light and dark. When you clear all of the dark energies from yourself, then illumination happens. It's not overnight. It is a process, just like anything else. You don't start out with a full meal on the stove, right? First of all, you have to make preparation, okay? You have to cut all of your ingredients up. Then you have to set the fire just perfectly on the stove, right? Then you add a little bit at a time. When you're making a soup, you don't put everything in at once. It's a continuing process. Don't become entrapped by your thoughts, okay? Allow the energies to work within you. Setting those intentions. Knowing that the divine has you. The divine has you, no matter what. Healing is a process, turning pain into power. It does happen. It will come to pass. But it might take a little bit. We don't want overnight success. We might think we do, but if things hit so hard at once, then what's the pleasure in that? It's the growing process, okay? It's a growing process. It's a process. It'll be okay. I promise. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna go with the sacred spirit. I'm being called to use this deck now. Just get a little more insight. Hi, Ebony. There were several lives. I was trying to get the volume to work. Just one moment. I'm going to let my puppy dog out because they're going. There. Go see your brother. He's home. Illumination. Downloads. Healing process, patience. Patience. It is a spiritual evolution. Setting your heart free. You have to go through some of the darkest of times, remember, before the light comes. But don't give up. It always gets harder before it gets better, tribe. It always gets harder before it gets better. Messages are coming. Your path is being illuminated. Know that your works, your intentions, they're not without void, right? It's not. It's not in vain. Stay strong. I'll tell you personally, some of the hardest things I've ever been through, it took me a while to learn my lessons. It didn't happen overnight for me. It took me a good, few months. Actually, to gain confidence to even come on camera. And now I'm not a pro at it per se, but it's easier for me. Definitely. It's definitely easier for me than it was in the beginning. Growth is a process. You don't put a seed in the ground and wake up the next day and have a tree, right? Think about it. But when you plant that seed, you have to water it. Sometimes you have to add a little bit more soil. Sometimes you may have to cover it. Sometimes you may have to wait for springtime. Sometimes you might have to give it some plant food. Just like with anything else, it is a process. I feel like sometimes we expect things to just happen, bam, immediately. But that's not how the divine sees it. When you have a puzzle, right? You dump out all the pieces. That doesn't mean that you just look there and all of the pieces come together. You have to start with what? An outline, right? You start with an outline of your life and the things that you want to add to it. So just like puzzle pieces, you add it one piece at a time. You're like, oh, that fits right here. Or, oh, wait, that doesn't go right. I need to maybe try another corner, right? And eventually you get the outside all put together. And then you sit down and you say, I have all of these red and orange pieces. And if I look at my soul's map, I know that that's going to get placed here. Okay. And then you look and you say, oh, all of the pieces of this puzzle are green. So that tells me that all of the green pieces are going to go on this side. Your life is exactly like that. Life is a puzzle, and you have to learn where to place all of those pieces and know that what works and what doesn't work. And if at first you don't succeed, you try and try again. Do you understand? It's an evolution. But remember, whenever everything is put together, it's a beautiful picture of life and growth. And you can take a step back and be like, man, that took a long time. But this is a beautiful, beautiful puzzle. And now I can enjoy the beauty of it in all aspects, right? From the time, effort, energy, the certain placement of things. That's just like our spiritual journey and our life's journey. You don't start out going to college. You start out in pre-K, just like the puzzle pieces. And in the end, you create something beautiful. You create something magical. You create you. You create the life that you want. Building a house, for instance, right? You have to start with the four corners, a strong foundation. You don't start putting up the walls until you have a strong foundation to build those walls, right? 3 and 4. Then the next thing you do after your foundation, you start your framework, right? And then you start with the building of your roof that's going to protect your structure, okay? Once you have all that outward shell put together, then you can start your drywall, okay? You may have an image or an idea of what you want it to look like, but it doesn't start out just throwing up walls, right? You have to level it. Make sure it's going to stand the test of time. Make sure that you pour the concrete in all of the different four corners, right? You have to put reinforcement beams, right? You can't just throw 2 pieces of plywood up there and expect the whole roof, to fit together and not cave in under pressure, under wind, under rain, right? You have to strategically place those beams. That's just like the divine does with our lives. He's like, hold on a minute. Let me put this corner post. And then next, I'm going to help you build a wall of protection. And then I'm going to put a roof on to shield you. After all the drywall comes through, what do you start doing? You start putting all of the different rooms together, right? And then you sit and you think about, okay, What color do I want to paint this room? Do I want the whole house to be one uniform color throughout? Or do you want to experiment with a little bit of color here and a splash of, different types of material? What's going to make it comfortable and loving? That's just like the divine building our life. You co-create with the universe. The next thing you know, you have a solid, stable life, right? Your spirituality. You know what works. You learn that fear-based energy is ego, right? And you also learn that, wait a minute, that's not always, so bad. My dark side, my shadow side was operating out of fear and ego before, but now my shadow side is my alarm system. And it says, hey, guess what? This is the right step to take. And it's that small, tiny voice within you, and you become sacred, you become secure, and and you experience the energies, right? It's just like building a house. You're building your own sacred temple where within oneself. And then it's solid, it's firm, and nothing can permeate those walls of protection, the walls of your spiritual journey, the walls of your life, right? Because it's been placed strategically. And you build one thing at a time. And then you build stairs to climb up to the second level. Do you get the gist of what I'm saying, collective? It's a spiritual evolution. You don't start out feet running, casting out demons. No, you start by feeling the different energies and feeling the different vibes. And if you make a mistake, guess what? You just tear that part down and try something else. It's an evolution. It's a process. Balance. You learn how to heal your inner child. That's how you learn how to have fun. That's how you learn how to be present. You work on your shadow self, your shadow side, working through the fears, working through the emotions, working through ego-based energy. Then also your light side illuminates things. It shines for you. It shows you the way. It's just like building a house. You don't go pick out all the paint until you got the walls put up. See what kind of lighting you want. Do you want more natural light? Do you want fluorescent light? Do you want hanging lights? You work with the energies. It's an evolution. You get where the divine's coming from tonight? It's true. So remember, just because you have to break down and tear something up, or your life, you have to switch jobs, or, you have to switch locations, or you have to switch up your energies. It's okay. Because it's an evolution process. We grow and we glow and we expand. And pretty soon, all of those things ties in together, right? And before you know it, you're moving into your new home. And then you start doing landscape around, right? To make it beautiful, to make it perfect, right? That's just like the divine. He has, and we have a mental picture of the final outcome. And that's how we build our foundations, right? It's how we build our fantasy life into reality. One step, one puzzle piece, one nail, one wall. That's how you do it. One step at a time. So I do feel a little bit of frustration. But remember, that is going to pass. It'll pass. Because it's an evolution process for oneself. Out of the darkness comes light. You get messages, intuitive hits, right? Your angels, your ancestors, and your guides give you dreams. That's the floor plan for your life. That's it. Building a safe and solid place within yourself. Just like the walls of your house doesn't allow the rain to flow in to your home and destroy everything that you've created, right? The winds of change are going to come, but your home, your house, your spiritual life is going to become solid and stable, and it does become easier. It does. It becomes easier. It's just one step at a time. I want you to be patient with yourself. I want you to acknowledge the growth, right, that you've had. You know what don't work, right? You may not know what works, but you know what don't work. So don't go back and repeat the same mistakes. Don't allow those people to come in and rip your foundation apart. But hold on a minute. I've built this house. You're not going to come in here and destroy everything that I have been working on. Why? Because this is my home. This is my spiritual foundation. This is where I'm going. This is my dream. So you better back up. Walls of protection. You're building yourself up. And pretty soon, nothing farmed shall harm you. You no longer have a victim mentality, right? You're not a victim. You're powerful. You've set your boundaries. And those people that can't, appreciate your boundaries or where you're going, they're not a part of your family. They're not a part of your journey. They got to go somewhere. Why? Because you're building you. You're evolving into a bigger, brighter, better future. It doesn't happen overnight. We want it to, but it doesn't happen overnight, tribe. It's a process. So I want you to be patient with yourself. Be patient with the energies. As long as you're not allowing the things that used to destroy you to come in, be like, let me tell you what, I've already done that. I've already gone there with you. We're not doing this again. You're not going to come in here and destroy the foundation and the home and the walls that I have built because I want something that's going to last. Right? I don't know who needs to hear this tonight, but I hope you're getting the correlation, the puzzle that we're putting together, right? The outer foundation. Pretty soon, you have a beautiful picture that you've painted for yourself. And what you have built can't no person, no man, no spirit, no force take it away from you. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with your journey. The last thing you want to do is throw up all those walls and then it just come crumbling down, right? Or you don't want to build all those walls and put the drywall up without putting a roof on it first. Remember that. Go with the process and go with the flow. It's an evolution. Evolving. It's just like a baby. It starts from what? A tiny seed. You don't sit there and then 2 days later pop out a newborn. Why? Because it's got to have a growth process. Same difference with your spiritual life. Same difference with your physical world also. You don't have surgery and then bounce back the next day after a major surgery. No, you got to test some rest, some recuperation. You have to allow your cells, right, to rebuild themselves. But it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, right? It's going to be all right. Have a little patience with yourself. I don't know who needed to hear this tonight, but I'm channeling these things, okay? Absolutely. No? Okay. Animals. Divine animals. Angels, ancestors, guides, animal spirits. What would you like to elaborate? What is the message for the tribe this evening? Y'all like the new camera? I'm loving this new camera. Took me a minute, about 3 or 4 times to get the sound set up. But that's all right, a little bit of patience. Now we're in like flint, ready to go. Yeah. If at first you don't succeed, try and try and try again. As long as you're trying, you're not a quitter. Let me remind you of that. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Thank you. Wisdom. You do gain wisdom. You gain insight. Number 4, building that firm foundation, right? North, south, east, and west. Building a firm foundation. Peace. And you will have peace in your life. An umbrella of protection, right? From the sun, from the storms, from the rain, from the winds. You build peace, tranquility, a peaceful life. Using all of the wisdom and all of the knowledge that you have been given. A wise soul, a wise spirit. Wisdom. You get wisdom. And then it's not so hard. You come out of this a mighty warrior. I just want you to know that. Fierce, mighty warrior. Look at that. Leading with power. Power. Shield of protection. A shield of protection. You can walk through the fire and not get burned. You can walk through the fire and not get burned. Your shield, your sword, the divine working through you, angels, ancestors, and guides, being able to lead and guide you with fierceness, fire energy, going for what it is that you want. Look at that. Walking through the fire and not getting burned, collective. And that's what it's about. Why? Because you've used wisdom. You're bringing peace into your life. You're getting loyalties. Those people who are going to be loyal and be with you. I see a geese that's also inner knowing. And 29. Look, reminds me of Saturn. Karmic returns, karmic rewards, collective. The divine sees all. I want you to remember that. Stability. I could keep running the bottom of this deck. Freedom. Doors opening for you. The doors will open. Happiness. True happiness. Okay? Power. And strength. Power. It's going to be okay. I promise. It's going to be okay. Good message, right? Excellent message. Thank you, everyone, for, being patient with me. In this with a sacred forest, okay? Power, strength, fortitude. It'll pay off. It really, really will. It's going to be all right. How many people needed this message in chat, huh? How many of you needed to hear this tonight? Put it in chat. Claim your victory. Claim your freedom. Attitude of gratitude, right? Be grateful for the process. Be grateful for the process. It's your foundation. It's your rite of passage. Be grateful for everything. It'll rise. It'll transcend you above all of this. Amen. Claim it. Remember, sometimes the divine has to break you down to rebuild you back anew. All is not lost. It's the process. It's magic. I feel like right now it's a new moon. I can see it right here through my window, and it's growing, right? You can't necessarily see all of it, but you know that it exists. Have faith. Have faith, okay? When the moon becomes full, illumination happens. Those things that are hidden will be illuminated. It's the magic within. You're good, darling. You're good. You're creating magic within oneself. You're magical beings. Remember that. It's a growth process. Just like the moon, we go through phases, right? The moon reminds us that it's okay to go through phases. It's okay. And the sun reminds us there's always a new beginning. And there's always a new beginning, right? Every day we wake up and the sun shines. We don't falter. We become strong. We become powerful. Isn't that what life's all about? It's going to be okay. I just want y'all to know that. It's going to be okay. I have to go back and have a little bit of patience with myself and delete all those tests. But guess what? In the end, we have the camera working that I got in, the mics working that I got in. We have sound. That's magic. Okay? Just remember, it's okay to go through phases. It's okay to go through changes. We come out stronger and better than before. Okay? I love y'all, tribe. Okay? Stay strong. And remember, sometimes it's okay to just stand. Sometimes it's okay to just kneel. Sometimes you just have to be at peace and be grateful for all of the evolution, processes. It is an evolution process. One day at a time, okay? One step at a time. Be well, tribe. I love y'all, okay? I'll be back. Thank you for your patience. It took me a few tries, but we got it now. Okay? Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you soon. Mama D.